We grow up thinking a migraine is just a very bad headache, the kind you push through with a glass of water and a dark room. While migraine rates have stayed steady at over 1 billion people, the proportion of those severely disrupted has nearly doubled. Additionally, 19% of women report migraines compared to 6% of men, a gap rooted in genetics and hormones. These figures are consistent across countries and decades. They reflect a condition woven into the body's biology, a physical event that begins well before the first sign of pain. The first of 4 phases begins a full day or 2 before the ache arrives. Deep brain regions, including the hypothalamus, start to stir. This is the prodrome, where people feel unusually tired, craving certain foods, or yawning over and over. Inside the brain, the electrical balance is fragile. Nerve cells depend on charged particles, mostly sodium and potassium, sliding in and out to send signals. Under a specific trigger, a group of neurons fires in a burst of overexcitement, then falls silent. This cortical spreading depression is a wave of quiet that crawls slowly across the brain, starting from the visual cortex. As the wave disturbs the visual area, it creates the second phase, the aura. This is the electrical wave made visible, appearing as a shimmering spot or a zigzag of light that drifts across your field of view. When the aura fades, it often feels like a relief. But that silent wave has acted as an alarm bell for a much more violent phase. Wrapped around the blood vessels of the brain is the trigeminal nerve. As the silent wave sweeps across the cortex, it irritates the endings of this massive nerve network, causing the system to wake up. Those irritated nerve endings begin releasing a cluster of chemicals. The most significant is a molecule known as CGRP. CGRP is a powerful dilator that forces the blood vessels to widen and floods the surrounding tissue with inflammation. We know CGRP is the driver of the pain because of a direct experiment. When researchers gave an infusion of the molecule to people with migraines, it triggered an attack. It doesn't just appear at the scene, it can start the event on its own. This chemical flood turns the volume knob of the entire nervous system all the way up. It makes the nerves so sensitive that signals which should feel like nothing now scream, turning the pulse of your blood into a throbbing physical pain. The signal travels deeper now, moving from the surface to a relay station in the brainstem, and then climbing to the thalamus. At this stage, the system becomes sensitized. The pain pathways start to overreact, treating the feeling of a hairbrush or a pillow resting against your cheek as a threat. This cross-section shows why the side effects are so severe. The pain centers are firing right next to the regions that handle balance and digestion. As a result, the gut often stops moving, the room can seem to tilt, and ordinary daylight feels like staring into the sun. This isn't an exaggeration of symptoms. It is the predictable result of a nervous system that has been cranked into high alert and cannot easily be talked back down. The headache phase can last anywhere from a few hours to 3 days. When the pain finally breaks, the 4th phase begins, the postdrome. This is what is sometimes called the migraine hangover. It is a state of being completely drained, foggy, and physically tender. Your brain has effectively run a marathon, and it needs time to reset the chemical and electrical balance. Recognizing the postdrome as part of the illness confirms that the biological event is still resolving, even after the acute pain is gone. For decades, migraine was actually a disease of an excitable nervous system. This shift in perspective led to treatments that specifically target CGRP. Instead of dulling pain everywhere, these drugs are designed to block the molecule that starts the cascade in the first place. When you look at all 4 phases together, a migraine stops looking like a mysterious curse. It reveals itself as a predictable chain reaction. By understanding what is happening inside the skull, millions of people can finally face the storm with less fear and seek help that targets the actual biology of the attack.